Qapla, YouTube, it's BirdOPrey5. I hope you can hear me okay. Welcome to a very special State of the Union live commentary by me, BirdOPrey5. We have in the center of the screen a live feed from the White House, official White House YouTube channel, which means it's public domain. Yes, we have a live feed we can watch, audio included, paid for by the U.S. taxpayers for anyone's use. So we have it. We have it there. 47 Yorktown was first and says, hello, sir. Not Ryan Johnson. Says, what mayhem is this? Well, at the end of my last stream, the Bird Zone, Conspiracy Tuesday, somebody suggested I live stream the State of the Union. And honestly, it was something I always wanted to do. So I said, tonight's a good night. And so I said, let's do it. Mike Richards says, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. Greetings, Mike Richards. Actor says, I think I will pass on this stream, but have fun. No problem, Actor. I know it's not going to be for everybody. Although I'm trying not to get partisan. John DeMarco says, greetings. Greetings, John. Not Ryan Johnson says, I'll be here only for a few minutes. I have to be up early tomorrow. No problem. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I don't know. I'll try to stream it all. There's no rule says I have to. Rambling Canuck says, hello, BirdOPrey and all. Welcome, Rambling Canuck. Alexander Brooks says, hello, Qapla, Alexander. And John DeMarco says, a dictator commenting on the State of the Union speech should be entertaining. Well, we'll see. I don't know. I'd say there's a decent chance it's going to be entertaining on its own with what's been going on. This is, again, the official White House feed. So we should get pretty much everything. We're a few minutes away. The speech is not scheduled to start for another 5 minutes, but it's always late. It is always late. Springtime says, BirdOPrey, are you going to be okay? I don't know, Springtime. We will see. We will see. Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, BirdOPrey, MilePrey, SOTU, fellow nerds. Hail Kuroga. Hail Kuroga, Sci-Fi Nation. And Joshi says, Bird, you are still up, and why is Kuroga airing the U.S. State of the Union? Oh, wait, I forgot. Kuroga is better known as New Jersey, or Robot Hell Sewers in the year 3000. Whatever you need to believe, Josh Street. So I guess they're waiting for the president. When is the lightning bolt scheduled, says Mike Richards. Exactly at midnight. At midnight, lightning will strike the U.S. Capitol, sending 1.21 gigawatts through the, the flagpole, and sending the entire U.S. Capitol back to the year 1955. Sci-Fi Nation got bored tonight and made a Patreon. Oh, very cool, Sci-Fi Nation. I just have a subscribe star. I've been debating whether I should do a Patreon. I was really pissed at Patreon, but then they kind of apologized for some of the shit they pulled. So I've been debating. Springtime says, BirdOPrey, will you defend yourself in your war crime trial? There is not going to be a war crime trial. Sci-Fi BirdOPrey, I'd like to be on the certified nerd list when you get to it. Yes, thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. Thank you for reminding me. I will put you in my mental list. And anyone else who I've neglected, not noticed that you've reached 100 subscribers, or whatever else, if you're interested in becoming a certified nerd on antitrekker.com, please let me know. I will, it takes a few minutes, but I will probably get Sci-Fi on that sometime tomorrow. Anti-Trigger says the bird war crime trial will commence soon. I don't think that's going to happen. Mike Richards says, okay, cool. And Ozzy NF says, Bird of Prey, 2 streams in one day. Today is a good day to stream. Yeah, Sci-Fi Nation says, you mean your war crime trial, Anti-Trigger. Indeed. Indeed. So we're going to have at least a few minutes here of everybody getting ready, and then it's going to take the president probably 10 minutes to walk down the aisle as he shakes hands with everybody. But once it actually gets going, assuming I'm actually commenting on what they're saying or he's saying, I will try to read as many comments as possible. Preference will be given to ones that start with @BirdOPrey5, of course. But even if it gets too busy, even those comments might be skipped, since this is mostly a live commentary stream. What do we got? Ivanka. Ivanka standing there and smiling. In all black. Does anyone know why the Democrats are dressed in white? It seems counterintuitive. Anti-Trigger posted 3 links, but I can't do anything. Melania.
Madam Speaker,
thank you.
The President's Cabinet.
And here comes the President's Cabinet. Anti-Trigger put in links. Ivanka. Okay, Ivanka, Melania. Ivanka's the daughter. Right, I'm sorry. Yeah, my bad. You caught me again. You caught me, Addie. You caught me. Yeah, Anti-Trigger spamming. I can play the link while we wait, but you want to see the President's Cabinet? Let's see. Okay, fine, Anti-Trigger. What is this? 21 seconds. Let's try not to screw this up too much.
I need someone I can trust at my side. Someone whose loyalty I can count on. I ask you to join me on this mission. As my friend. And as my first officer. Death to Corona!
Ha ha ha. Wow, Anti-Trigger. What great editing. He even did that dramatic close-up. Thomas says the state of Kuroga is weak. No, Thomas. It is not. Ozzy says, Bird, we need a new game to end the turd Kurogan war. No. We'll see. Anti-Trigger got me to buy this Battlestar Galactica game. We'll see if we ever actually play it. Addie says Joe is about to announce, and here comes President Sanders. No, Addie, I don't think I will do that. His cabinet is taking its sweet time. I wonder who the designated survivor is. Thomas Bott says they screwed up the order of episodes of DS9 on BBC. You know, I thought they did, because I was watching an episode yesterday. I was like, wait, this is way past way past where I'm supposed to be. I was like, I didn't realize they got that far past us on our Deep Space Nine Wednesdays. But then a little later in the day, there was an episode that was, I think, behind us again. So I don't know. Rambling Canuck, but Anti-Trekker would still say that if he heard what you said about blood wine and Klingons are honest cowards. Yeah. Yeah. 09A team says Nancy will announce President Bush. I don't think so. Rambling Canuck lols. Josh Reed says Bird of Prey, that had to be a Mr. Miles editing since Anti-Trekker couldn't have edited the video that good. And Springtime says Battlestar Galactica Deadlock is very addictive. I'm liking it, but I've only played a couple. I played the tutorial, and I played one skirmish, and I thoroughly dominated both.
Madam Speaker!
Madam Speaker!
The President of the United States!
Hey, yay! Everybody's cheering. Well, everybody on camera is cheering. Mike Richards says the designated survivor is not us. Welcome, Chief Cook. Thomas' Rush is one of the Trump guests. Well, I heard that Trump is going to give Rush Limbaugh a Medal of Honor or something. The state of Karoga / state of Turkestan, non-existent, says Multi-Gun Man. There's Donald coming down, putting his arm on people as he shakes their hand. It's a power move. Shows you're dominant. Gave that guy a little extra point. There he goes. Looks like he's shaking hands with some generals. Approaching the podium. Nancy Pelosi is clapping for him. Nancy Pelosi is clapping for him. That's a good sign. There was some debate whether she would. I mean, she did just impeach him. And he gives them each a copy of the speech, I guess. I wonder if there's something special in Nancy's copy. He's looking forward. Thank you. Yeah. And now he's clapping for himself. It's always a good sign. Yeah. Get everybody to start clapping some more. Clap. Nancy has stopped clapping. Hearing lots of cheering.
Members of Congress, the President of the United States.
And there, Nancy introduced him. A lot of people clapping. 4 more years. They're chanting 4 more years. We hear a loud 4 more years chant. I don't know I've ever heard that in a previous State of the Union.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, Mr. Vice President, members of Congress, the First Lady of the United States.
First Lady's getting a big round of applause, even a standing ovation. Sci-Fi Nation says Trump reminds me of the cheeseburger guy from Qapla.
American comeback. Tonight I stand before you to share the incredible results.
I'm glad to
Jobs
pay
are
you
booming,
Tuesday for
incomes are
cheeseburger
soaring,
today.
Poverty is
That's the
plummeting.
Hamburglar?
Crime is falling.
No, that's the guy from
Confidence
Popeye.
is surging, and our country is
A
thriving.
hamburger? Yeah, probably
and
a
highly
hamburger.
respected again.
Yes, we are highly respected again. I have to brush off all the extra respect. It accumulates.
America's enemies are on the run. America's fortunes are on the rise, and America's future is blazing bright.
Blazing
The years of
bright.
economic decay are over.
Is there anybody not clapping?
The days of our country being used, taken advantage of, and even scorned by other nations are long behind us.
Springtime says Bird of Prey. Remember, people, we can bring the devil bird to justice 2020.
Recoveries, tired
So tell everyone
platitudes,
BirdOPrey5
and constant
2020.
excuses for the depletion of
Tiki
American
of
wealth,
Doom puts in a
power,
bunch of
and
eagles.
prestige. In just 3 short
09A
years,
team says MAGA.
we have shattered the mentality of American decline, and we have rejected the downsizing of Americans' destiny. We have
Come
totally
on,
rejected
sci-fi. If
the
you want to make
downsizing.
fun of Donald Trump,
We're moving forward
I'm
at
there
a
with
pace
you.
that was
He did-
unimaginable just a
He
short
did
time
kind of
ago,
waddle
and we are
in.
never, ever going
It was
back.
hard pressed to call it walking, but it was like a penguin waddling down the aisle. But Melania did nothing wrong. Melania, whatever the
I am
hell.
thrilled to report to you tonight that our economy is the best
Sorry.
it has ever been.
She wanted
Our
me to pronounce her
military
name
is
right. She
completely
should have been
rebuilt,
born in the United
with its
States.
power being unmatched anywhere in the world, and it's not even close. Our borders are secure. Our families are flourishing. Our values are renewed. Our pride is restored. And for all of these reasons,
Ozzy
I
says
say
there's a
to the
lot of
people
white guys
of
present.
our
Well,
great
Ozzy,
country, and to
that
the
is
members
true.
of Congress, the state of our union is stronger than ever before.
Stronger than ever before is the State of the Union. So is that it? Is the speech over now? Can everybody go home? Oh, look at all those people in the white not clapping. They remind me of that crazy cult from The Leftovers on
The
HBO.
vision I will lay out this evening demonstrates how we are building the world's most prosperous and inclusive society. One where every
Number one
citizen can
sci-fi
join
says
in
Bird of Prey.
America's
Does Trump
unparalleled
win next
success,
election or somebody
and where
else?
every community can take part
I don't know.
in America's
I mean,
extraordinary rise.
I don't
From the
think that
instant I
he's
took
got it
office, I moved rapidly to
sealed
revive
up.
the
I don't
US
think that
economy,
he's got it in the
slashing a
bag.
record number of
But
job-killing regulations,
looking
enacting
at the
historic
Democratic
and record-setting
candidates,
tax cuts,
I honestly
and
don't know
fighting
who
for
beats
fair
them.
and reciprocal trade agreements.
Springtime says Bird
Our
2020.
agenda is relentlessly
It's what we
pro-worker,
call it for your war
pro-family,
crimes trial. No.
pro-growth, and most
Thomas
of
says
all,
Bird of Prey. Don't say that about the
pro-American.
First Lady, whatever her name is. She should have been born in America. I don't think she should have been born. It's just that I might not be able to pronounce her name if she wasn't born here. Or even if you were born here, but you
Thank
choose a ridiculous name.
We are advancing with unbridled optimism.
Why am I
and
against
lifting
free
our
speech,
citizens
anti-trigger?
of every race, color, religion, and creed very, very high.
Very,
Since my
very
election,
high.
we have created 7 million new jobs, 5 million more than government experts projected during the previous administration.
Sounds like those experts aren't experts after all.
The unemployment rate is the lowest in over half a century.
No, I'm not saying she should be
And very
deported. I'm
incredibly,
just
the
saying that
average
that's why I didn't
unemployment rate
pronounce the
under
name
my
right.
administration is lower than any administration in the history of our country.
See, if the Democrats really wanted to stage a protest, they should all be wearing unicorn suits. Rainbow unicorn
If we
suits.
hadn't reversed the failed economic policies of the previous administration, the world would not now be witnessing this great economic success. The unemployment rate for African Americans, Hispanic Americans, and Asian Americans has reached the lowest levels in history.
But what about Alaskan
African American
natives?
youth unemployment has reached an all-time low. African American poverty has declined to the lowest rate ever recorded. The unemployment rate for women reached the lowest level in almost 70 years, and last year women filled 72% of all new jobs added.
Those people are not happy.
The veterans' unemployment rate dropped to a record low. The unemployment rate for disabled Americans has reached an all-time low.
Yeah, thank you to Anti-Tricker for being one of the disabled Americans working, keeping that unemployment
Workers
rate
without a
low.
high school diploma have achieved the lowest unemployment rate recorded in U.S. history. A record number of young Americans are now employed.
We need to employ more young Americans.
Under the last
Younger.
administration, more than 10 million people were added to the food stamp rolls. Under my administration, 7 million Americans have come off food stamps, and 10 million people have been lifted off of welfare.
Captain, some disabled people are able to work and want to work. Their disabilities, vary. You would be disabled if you lost both your legs, but if you've gotten if you've gotten replacement legs and you went through physical therapy and you're able to get around and you want to have a job, that's admirable. Not everybody who's disabled is unemployable. Unfortunately, if you're disabled and moving is painful like it is for me, and like it is
Since my
apparently for
election, the net worth of
anti-tracker,
the bottom half
it's
of
a
wage
different
earners
thing.
has
But
increased by 47%, three times
it's
faster than the increase for the top 1%.
it's not one size fit all when it comes to disabled
After
and
decades of
employment.
flat and falling incomes, wages are rising fast, and wonderfully, they are rising fastest for
Springtime
low-income
is Bird of
workers
Prey.
who
How do
have
you
seen
defend
a
child labor?
16% pay increase
Well, they have
since
the
my
smallest
election.
hands, so you need them sometimes to get into the tight places.
This is a blue-collar boom. Real median household income is now at the highest level ever recorded.
Well, springtime, it wouldn't be right to not pay them.
Since my election, U.S. stock markets have soared 70%, adding more than $12 trillion to our nation's wealth, transcending anything anyone believed was possible. This is a record. It is something that every country in the world is looking up to. They admire. Consumer confidence has just reached amazing new highs. All of those millions of people with 401ks and pensions are doing far better than they have ever done before. With
Ozzy says,
of
I don't
60,
think Trump
70,
loses
80,
no matter
90,
how much drama he
and
creates.
100% and even more.
That's certainly
Jobs and
a
investments are
popular
pouring into
opinion, Ozzy.
9,000 previously
But
neglected neighborhoods, thanks to opportunity zones, a plan spearheaded by Senator Tim
you
Scott
get too sure of yourself,
Republican tax
and you're going to be the same position that Hillary Clinton was, right? Nobody thought Hillary Clinton could lose until she did. So trust me, Donald Trump doesn't win until he actually does. There's going to be a lot of stuff going on election day and the weeks leading up to election day at places that have early voting. And it might be very, very difficult for him to overcome some of what's going to come up. So
this is the first time that these deserving communities have seen.
Don't take it
like
for
this.
granted he's winning.
It's all working. Opportunity
He might.
zones are helping
He's got a good
Americans
chance.
like
I'll give
Army
you
veteran
that.
Tony Rankins from Cincinnati, Ohio. After struggling with drug addiction, Tony lost his job, his house, and his family. He was homeless. But then Tony found a construction company that invests in opportunity zones. He is now a top tradesman, drug-free, reunited with his family, and he is here tonight. Tony,
Ozzy says, Bird of Prey, I'm
work,
Canadian,
Tony.
and part of me wouldn't mind trading your president for our prime minister. Well, thanks, but no thanks. We don't need Justin Trudeau down here. If he wants to come for a visit, I suppose that's fine, but not for president. And the trigger says, building on, yeah, Bird of Prey is all kinds of hate today.
Our
Telling it like it is.
has, for the first time ever, given many former prisoners the ability to get a great job and a fresh start. This second chance at life is made possible because we passed landmark criminal justice reform into law. Everybody said that criminal justice reform couldn't be done, but I got it done, and the people in this room got it done.
I can't tell if Nancy's clapping or... Oh, okay. Now they stood up and clapped because they want to take credit for criminal justice reform.
Thanks to our bold regulatory reduction campaign, the United States has become the #1 producer of oil and natural gas anywhere in the world, by far.
Nice. #1 producer of oil and natural gas.
With the tremendous progress we have made over the past 3 years, America is now energy independent, and energy jobs, like so many
Mr.
other
J
elements
asked
of
if
our
anyone
country,
wants to
are at a
trade Boris
record high.
Johnson for their head of state. I would take Boris Johnson over Justin Trudeau, but I think we'll stick with what we've got.
We are doing numbers that no one would have thought possible just 3 years ago. Likewise, we are restoring our nation's manufacturing might, even though
Surf
predictions
says, I
were,
can't
as
listen
you
to
all
this
know,
dude talk.
that this could never,
Narcissistic
ever
people
be done.
annoy me.
After losing
Well, Surf,
60,000
I
factories
understand
under the previous two
it's not for
administrations,
everybody, so if you
America
don't
has
like
now
it,
gained
there's
12,000
plenty of
new
other
factories
content
under
on
my
YouTube. I will
administration,
not
with thousands
hold
upon
it against
thousands
you.
of
I thank you
plants
for even
and
coming and
factories
checking it
being
out.
planned or being built.
Anti-Trigger says 85% of natural gas is coming out of Trump's mouth. Ozzy says BirdOPrey USA Energy is independent. Canada
Companies
brings in
are
most
not
of our
leaving.
oil,
They are
even
coming
though we
back
could be
to
the same as
USA.
US and be independent. Well, that's a big change from
The fact
10
is
years
that
ago.
everybody wants to be where the action is, and the United States of America is indeed the place where the
No,
action
Zachary.
is.
President Trump has not brought up Karoga yet, but he might before the end
One
of the
of the biggest
string of
promises
the
I made to the American people was to
of the
replace the
speech.
disastrous NAFTA trade deal.
Oh yeah, had to replace NAFTA.
In fact, unfair trade is perhaps the single biggest reason that I decided to run for president. Following NAFTA's adoption, our nation lost 1 in 4 manufacturing jobs. Many politicians came and went, pledging to change or replace NAFTA, only to do
Would
so,
take a shaved
and then
baboon
absolutely
over
nothing
Justin
happened.
Trudeau.
But unlike so many who
Number
came
one
before
side by
me,
this
I
BirdOPrey.
keep
I'm
my
still
promises.
experiencing
We
major
did our
pains in
job.
my arms and my hands, along with numbness in my neck surgery. I am so sorry to hear that, number one sci-fi. Anti-Drake says it would be
6
so
days
funny
ago,
if he
I
said
replaced
death to
NAFTA
Karoga at
and
the end
signed
of
the
his
brand
speech.
new US-Mexico
No, Anti-Drake, if
Canada
Trump
agreement
says
into
death
law.
to Karoga
The
at the end of the
USMCA
speech
will
tonight,
create nearly
then we will
100,000
surrender.
new high-paying American auto jobs and massively boost exports for
Yes,
our
here
farmers,
on
ranchers,
live
and
during
factory
the
workers.
State of the Union tonight.
It will also bring trade with Mexico and Canada to a much higher level, but also to be a much greater degree of fairness and reciprocity. We will have that fairness and reciprocity, and I say that finally because it's been many, many years that we were treated fairly on trade.
I don't know if he should bring up the wall.
This is the first major trade
not
deal
really
in many
built
years
yet.
to earn the strong backing of America's labor unions. I also promised our citizens that I would impose tariffs to confront China's massive theft of America's jobs. Our strategy has worked. Days ago, we signed the groundbreaking new agreement with China that will defend our workers, protect our intellectual property, bring billions and billions of dollars into our treasury, and open vast new markets for products made and grown right here in the USA.
Until coronavirus shuts all the borders and we won't trade.
For decades, China has taken advantage of the United States.
Thomas says
Now we have
BirdOPrey.
changed that.
This
But
is the
at
first
same
State of the
time,
Union
we
I
have
watched
perhaps
since the
the
one
best
after
relationship
9/11.
we've ever had with China, including with
Thank
President
you.
Xi.
Are you
They
watching
respect
because
what we've
I'm
done
streaming
because,
it?
quite frankly, they could
Or
never
were you
really
going to watch
believe
it either
that they
way?
were able to get away with what they were
And the
doing.
trick is it's been
year
many,
after
many
year,
years since
decade
we've been
after
treated
decade,
fairly with
without
trade.
someone in our country
Is that what he really
stepping
meant to
up
say? Who
and
wrote this
saying,
speech?
That's enough.
See, Anti-Trigger's nitpicking the State of the Union now.
Now we want to rebuild our country, and that's exactly what we're doing. We are rebuilding our country. As we restore American leadership throughout the world, we are once again standing
Zachary
up
is
for
just
freedom
here for
in our
Pelosi's
hemisphere.
reactions.
That's why my administration
Surf
reversed the
Trek
failing
Chronics says we want a
policies of the
space
previous
wall.
administration
No
on
synthetic
Cuba.
Martians. Take our jobs. Thomas is only watching because of me. Well, thank you, Thomas, I guess. Captain Trax says BirdOPrey, everyone will be nitpicking it.
We
yeah,
are
but
supporting the
anti-trigger
hopes
is
of
starting
Cubans,
early.
Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans to restore democracy. The United States is leading a 59-nation diplomatic coalition against the socialist dictator of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro.
Did he say the socialist dictator of Kurdistan, anti-trigger? No.
Maduro is an illegitimate ruler, a tyrant who brutalizes his people. But Maduro's grip on tyranny
Sounds like
will be smashed
anti-trigger.
and broken. Here this evening is a very brave man who carries with him the hopes, dreams, and aspirations of all Venezuelans. Joining us in the gallery is the true and legitimate president of Venezuela, Juan Guaido. Mr. President, please take this message back to your family.
The true and legitimate president of Venezuela. Captain Trax says BirdOPrey, that description is identical to anti-tracker. Yes. And Tiki of Doom is lolling at a CIA plant.
Thank you, Mr. President. Great honor. Thank you very much. Please take this message back that all Americans are united with the Venezuelan people in their righteous
All Americans are united.
for
Why are you
freedom.
lying?
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
I mean, it would be nice if that were true, but we all know that we're not all united for Venezuela. There's probably plenty of Americans that want to go down and fight for the communists. Surf Electronics says BirdOPrey, if Trump says Hail Caroga, I'll give you $1,000. I'm going to tweet him right now. I'll give him $750 if he says Hail Caroga.
Unifies the soul. To safeguard American liberty, we have invested a record-breaking $2.2 trillion
Anti-Tracker says
in the
Captain
United
Track,
States
wow.
military.
Gary, you've been mean lately. You're off my Christmas card list. No, Venezuela is not Caroga.
We have purchased the finest planes, missiles, rockets, ships.
We've purchased the
and every
finest
other form of
planes,
military equipment,
missiles,
and it's all
rocket
made
ships.
right here in the USA.
It's all made in the USA. Oh, come on. Talk about the Space Force. Talk about the Space Force. We want the
also
Space
getting
Force.
Our allies, finally, to help pay their fair share.
Life with Matthews says Qapla, BirdOPrey and all. Why are we clapping? Trump says he's going to bring down Kurdistan.
Contributions from other NATO members by more than $400 billion, and the number of allies meeting their minimum obligations has more than doubled. And just weeks ago, for the first time since President Truman established the Air Force, more than 70 years earlier, we created a brand new branch of the United States Armed Forces. It's called the Space Force.
The Space Force.
Very important.
Very important. Yes. Mulligan confirmed BirdOPrey thinks Trump purchased rocket ships.
And
it is BirdOPrey, it's just Trump's China is China. And Caroga is Venezuela.
From Arizona,
Multi-government says rocket ships don't
He
exist.
has always dreamed of going
What are you
to
talking
space.
about? I see
He
rockets
was
all the
first
time.
in his class and among the youngest at an aviation academy.
Star
He
Trek,
aspires to go
USS
to the Air
Trump
Force
to the
Academy,
stars.
and then he has his eye on the Space Force.
No, the
As Ian
Space
says,
Force is
most
not
people
going to rescue
look
Steve
up at
Shives.
space. I want to look down on the world.
He wants to go up into space so he can look down on the world. That kid is a true Kurogan. Josh Reed says, why does he just call it Starfleet? Or is that after he gets reelected? Oh,
sitting
it
behind
might turn into
Ian
Starfleet
tonight
eventually.
is his greatest hero of them all. Charles McGee was born in Cleveland, Ohio, 1 century ago.
Our
Charles
greatest
is one of the
hero,
last
1
surviving
century
Tuskegee
ago.
Airmen, the first
Oh,
black fighter
Tuskegee
pilots,
Airmen.
and he also happens
True
to be
heroes.
Ian's great-grandfather.
Oh, he's Ian's great-grandfather. Wow. For a 100-year-old man, that guy is in amazing shape. Holy F. We should all be so lucky. Wow, look at that guy. My God, 100 years old, Tuskegee Airman.
Incredible story. After more than 130 combat missions in World War II, he came back home to a country still struggling for civil rights and went on to serve America in Korea and Vietnam. On December 7th, Charles celebrated his 100th birthday.
And he was born on December 7th. That means Pearl Harbor was bombed on his birthday. A day which will live in infamy.
A few weeks ago, I signed a bill promoting Charles McGee to Brigadier General, and earlier today, I pinned the stars on his shoulders in the Oval Office. General McGee, our nation salutes you. Thank you, sir.
General McGee. Poor guy doesn't want to get up again, but he does.
From the Pilgrims to the founders, from the soldiers at Valley Forge to the marchers at Selma, and from President Lincoln to the Reverend Martin Luther King, Americans have always rejected limits on our children's future. Members of Congress, we must never forget that the only victories that matter in Washington
You think
are victories that deliver for the American people.
Pelosi's drinking vodka? I don't think it's water.
The people
Does
are the
McGee
heart of
know
our
the
country.
ugliest starship
Dreams
is named after
are the
him?
soul of our country.
The
And their
McGee
love is
class.
what
We
powers
finally get
and
where it
sustains our
came
country.
from.
We must always remember that our job is to put America first.
Our job is to put America first. I can do that.
The next step forward in building an inclusive society is making sure that every young American gets a great education and the opportunity to achieve the American dream. Yet for too long, countless American children have been trapped in failing government schools. To rescue these students, 18 states have created school choice in the form of opportunity scholarships. The programs are so popular that tens of thousands of students remain on a waiting list. One of those students is Janiyah Davis, a fourth grader from Philadelphia. Janiyah.
Janiyah. Where's Janiyah? The fourth grader from Philadelphia. She remains on a waiting list. Get that girl a scholarship.
Janiyah's mom, Stephanie, is a single parent. She would do anything to give her daughter a better future. But last year, that future was put further out of reach when Pennsylvania's governor vetoed legislation to expand school choice to 50,000 children.
No.
Janiyah and Stephanie
What
are
an
in the
asshole.
gallery. Stephanie, thank you so much for being here with your beautiful daughter. Thank you very much.
I don't know why Pelosi's not standing. She must hate the daughter and the mother.
But Janiyah, I have some good news for you.
Oh, it looks
'Cause I
like
am
she might have
pleased to
been
inform you
standing.
that your long
No,
wait
she
is
wasn't.
over. I can proudly
Oh.
announce tonight
Okay,
that
there
an
she goes.
Opportunity Scholarship has become available. It's
Opportunity
going to
Scholarship
you,
has become
and you will
available.
soon be heading
She's
to the
getting it.
school of your choice.
There we go. She can go to the school of her choice. Congratulations. Congratulations. Well, I gotta say, I was a little worried that that wasn't going to happen. That he was going to be such an asshole and not give him the scholarship.
Now I call on Congress to give 1 million American children the same opportunity Janiyah has just received. Pass the Education Freedom Scholarships and Opportunities Act, because no parent should be forced to
Pelosi's
send
shaking her
their
head
child to a failing government school.
And half of them are not clapping. We want you to send your kids to failing government schools,
Every young
I
person
guess.
should have a safe and secure environment in which to learn and to grow. For this
Captain
reason,
Tractus, he may be
our
an asshole,
magnificent
but he's
First
not
Lady has launched the
stupid.
Be Best initiative to advance a safe, healthy,
Mr. J says
supportive,
proof
and drug-free
Trump's not
life
a
for the
racist.
next generation.
There's a
Online,
lot
in
of proof.
school, and in our communities. Thank you, Melania, for your extraordinary love and profound care for America's children. Thank you very much.
You can get up, Melania, if you want. You don't want to stand up. There you go. There she goes.
My administration is determined to give our citizens the opportunities they need, regardless of age or background. Through our pledge
Serve
to
your
American
crisis. Do
workers,
Democrats and
over
Republicans sit
400
on different
companies
sides?
will also
Yes.
provide new jobs
Yes,
and
they're literally
education
on opposite
opportunities
sides of
to
the main
almost
aisle.
15 million Americans.
Hence, when
My
they
budget
say
also
reach
contains
across
an
the
exciting
aisle.
vision for our nation's
Lywood
high schools.
Matthews says Pelosi looks
Tonight,
like she got
I
some
ask
fresh
Congress
Botox
to
for this
support our
address.
students and back my plan to
It's
offer
nice to see people
vocational
looking their
and
best for
technical
special
education
events.
in every
Resolute
single
Germs
high
says,
school
hi everyone,
in
just got off
America.
work. What did I miss? You missed the State of our Union is the greatest it's ever been. Resolute. And the Space Force. And Mr. General McGee, who's 100 years old and was a Tuskegee Airman.
To
And
expand
became a
equal
general
opportunity,
today.
I am also proud
And
that we achieved record
a little
and
girl
permanent
got a
funding
scholarship.
for our nation's historically black colleges and universities.
Sci-fi, number one sci-fi is Bird of Prey. Trump mentioned the founders, so that proves the Dominion is real.
A good life for American families also requires the most affordable, innovative, and high-quality health care system on earth.
There you go,
Before I
talking about
took
health
office,
care.
health insurance premiums had more than doubled in just 5
Said
years.
health and
I
premiums
moved
have
quickly
doubled
to
in more than
provide
5
affordable
years.
alternatives.
He
Our
moved
new
quickly to
plans are
provide
up to 60%
affordable alternative.
less expensive.
New
and
plans are
better.
up to 60% less expensive and better. which means nothing. Up to and more means nothing. And I certainly haven't seen any 60% less expensive plans
I've also
that were
made
better.
an ironclad pledge to American families. We will always protect
The plans are getting progressively worse.
Conditions.
And he's made a commitment to not deny based on pre-existing conditions.
And we will always protect your Medicare, and we will always protect your Social Security, always.
We'll always protect Medicare and Social Security, always.
The American patient should never be blindsided by medical bills. That is
The
why
American
I signed
patient
an
should never
executive
be
order
blindsided by
price
medical bills.
transparency.
We signed an executive order requiring price transparency. Yeah, be lucky
Many
if Mount
experts
Fraser. Be
believe
lucky
that
if that's implemented in
transparency,
10
which
years.
will go into full effect at the beginning of next year, will
It
be
goes into
even
full
bigger
effect at the
than
beginning of
healthcare
next year.
Reform. It will save families massive amounts of money for substantially better care. But as we work to improve Americans' health care, there are those who want to take away your health care, take away your doctor, and abolish
There's those that want to
private
take away our health
insurance
care and take
entirely.
away our doctors. Oh no. Who are those
132
people?
lawmakers in this room have endorsed
132
legislation to
lawmakers.
oppose a socialist takeover of our health care system, wiping out the private health insurance plans of 180 million very happy Americans.
Some
To
people are
those watching at
clapping.
home tonight, I want you to know we will never let socialism destroy American health care.
There's the clapping. Like, some people didn't know if they were supposed to clap or not.
Over 130 legislators in this chamber have endorsed legislation that would bankrupt our nation by providing free taxpayer-funded health care to millions of illegal aliens, forcing taxpayers
Lyman
to
Matters and
subsidize
BirdOPrey,
free
fun
care
fact,
for anyone in the
aisle
world
width in
who
Britain between the
unlawfully
parties
crosses our
used to be
borders.
just wide enough
These
to prevent
proposals would
opponents from
raid
killing
the
each others
Medicare
with
benefits
swords.
of our seniors and that our seniors
Interesting.
depend on, while acting as a powerful lure for illegal immigration. That is what is happening in California and other states.
Anti-triggers is Surf Triconics. I always like Crusher more than Pelosi. Oh wait, you know, I made that same mistake earlier. I thought there was somebody was saying Pulowski when they said Pelosi.
To illegal aliens sounds fair to you. Then stand with the radical left. But if you believe that we should defend American patients and American seniors, then stand with me and pass legislation to prohibit free government health care for illegal aliens. This will be a tremendous boon to our already very
Anti-triggers
strong
is stand by for breaking news on the Martok
speak, a
situation
long,
right
tall,
after this
and very
speech.
powerful wall is being built.
Zachary says Pelosi, Pulowski, same difference. And now he finally got to the wall. A very strong and very powerful wall is being built.
We have now completed over 100 miles and have over 500 miles fully completed in a very short period of time.
They've
Early
completed
next
over
year, we will
100
have
miles
substantially more than 500
and have over 500 miles completed in a
My
short time.
administration is also taking on the big pharmaceutical companies. We have approved
Also
a
taking on
record
big
number of
pharmaceuticals.
affordable generic drugs, and medicines are being approved by the FDA at a faster clip than ever before. And I was pleased to announce last year that for the first time in 51
Several
years,
thousand miles,
the cost
Captain
of
Trek.
prescription drugs actually went down.
But he says the cost of prescription drugs actually went down. It did?
And working together,
Oh, that's
Congress
something we can
reduce drug
confirm.
prices substantially from current levels. I've been speaking to Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa and others in Congress in order to get something on drug pricing done, and done quickly and properly. I'm calling for bipartisan legislation that achieves the goal of dramatically lowering prescription drug prices.
I don't know,
Get a bill on
Antitrade. A couple of
desk
my
and I will
drugs
sign
went
it
down in
into law
price.
immediately.
Yes, legal drugs. Yeah, this year, 2020, the cost of medications went down. Not tremendously, but down.
With unyielding commitment,
Captain
we
Track
are
says
curbing
his
the
meds have gone
opioid
up.
epidemic.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Drug overdose deaths
Ours did go
declined for
down.
the first time in nearly 30 years. Among the states hardest hit, Ohio is down 22%, Pennsylvania is down 18%, Wisconsin is down 10%, and we will not quit until we have beaten the opioid epidemic once and for all.
The drug overdoses are down across a number of states. Isn't that just kind of the natural? Wouldn't that happen naturally as drug addicts OD?
Protecting
And then they're not there
Americans'
to be
health
drug addicts
also
anymore.
means fighting infectious diseases. We are coordinating with the Chinese government and working closely together on the coronavirus outbreak in
Anti-Tracker
China.
says Richie Poole,
My administration will take all
it would be
necessary steps
just
to
build
safeguard our
bridges like
citizens from
BirdOPrey.
this
There would be
threat.
no immigration
We have
problem
launched ambitious
because they would all
initiatives to
die on
substantially
the
improve care
bridges.
for Americans with kidney disease, Alzheimer's, and those struggling with mental health. And because Congress was so good as to fund my request, new cures for childhood cancer, and we will eradicate the AIDS epidemic in America by the end of this decade.
It's going to eradicate AIDS in America by the end of the decade.
Almost
Well,
every American family knows the pain.
he won't be
when a loved
president
one is
beyond
diagnosed with a serious
2025.
illness. Here
and
tonight
just the
is
first
a
month of
special
that.
man, beloved by
Oh,
millions
we got a
of
special
Americans,
man,
who just received
beloved
a
by millions of
stage 4
Americans.
advanced cancer diagnosis.
Oh, it's Rush.
This is not
Oh,
good
he
news.
is stage 4.
But what is good news is that he is the greatest fighter and winner
He's
that
there.
you will ever meet. Rush Limbaugh, thank you for your decades
Rush
of
Limbaugh
tireless
at
devotion
the
to our
State
country.
of the Union and receiving a thank you from the president. And oh man, he's got a full beard. Yeah, that is him next to Melania. I had no idea. I haven't seen him in such a long time. What the hell was that? Is he pulling a... I don't know. I remember
And Rush,
I remember listening
in recognition
to
of all
Rush.
that you have done for our nation,
Oh,
the millions of people a day that you speak
in
to and that you
recognition to
inspire,
the millions of
and
people
all
he
of the
inspire a
incredible
day.
work that you have done for charity. I am proud to announce tonight that you will be receiving our country's highest civilian honor, the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
The Presidential Medal of Freedom is going to Rush Limbaugh. Is he like honestly surprised at that? Because they talked about this before it started. The way he looked at it, it looked like he's either pretending or he honestly didn't know. Yeah.
I will now
I remember
ask the First Lady of the United States to present you with the honor, please.
Oh, they're going to give it to him right now. Yeah, BirdOPrey5 speed is a couple minutes ahead of mine. It's okay. Melania is giving it to him right now. I remember listening to Rush, like, 15, 20 years ago. And he called George Herbert Walker Bush, the father. He called him directly on the air, and they started talking. And he told him, like, yeah, I'm on the radio. And Herbert Walker, George H.W. Bush, I don't think he quite understood what he meant, that they were live on the radio. And George started talking about our guy up in some place. And Rush right away cut him off. He's like, sir, we're live on the air right now. And he's like, we're live on the air? What do you mean, like live right now? He's like, yeah, sir, we're live on the radio. And then he stopped talking about the guy. He said, oh, well, great show. I love your work. And,
21 weeks and 6
talk
days
to you later. Bye.
and weighing less than a pound, Ellie Schneider was a born fighter. Through the skill of her doctors and the prayers of her parents, little Ellie kept on.
Zachary Gibbons is next to be free Harvey.
Today, Ellie is a strong, healthy 2-year-old girl sitting with her amazing mother, Robin. In the gallery, Ellie and Robin, we are
Zachary says Doomcock wants us to free Harvey. If Doomcock wants to free Harvey, he can do it himself. There's a little girl who was born premature. Kids like, get me out of here.
Ellie reminds us that every child is a miracle of life. And thanks to modern medical wonders, 50% of very premature babies delivered at the hospital where Ellie was born now survive. It's an incredible thing. Thank you very much. Our goal should be to ensure that every baby has the best chance to thrive and grow just like Ellie. That is why I'm asking Congress to provide an additional $50 million to fund neonatal research for America's youngest patients.
Come on, people in white, stand up. Nobody's against premature babies.
That is why I'm also calling upon members of Congress here tonight to pass legislation finally banning the late-term abortion of babies.
Well, now you're going to get people who aren't going to stand. He wants to also ban late-term abortion. And that one is a hot-button issue, but everybody should have been standing for the, prenatal care.
Whether we are Republican, Democrat, or Independent, surely we must all agree that every human life is a sacred gift from God. As we support
so
America's
Anti-Trigger's going to give me the link.
Proud to sign
so I will be playing this, I guess, the Martok
federal
thing.
Workforce, paid family leave, serving as a model for the rest of the country.
Not paid family leave, he just brought up. Some place for serving as a model for the country.
Now I call on Congress to pass the bipartisan Advancing Support for Working Families Act, extending family leave to mothers and fathers.
It is a little boring, Tiki of Doom. I was hoping for a little thing more interesting. I hope it would go off
40 million
script.
American families have an average $2,200 extra
Maybe at
thanks
the
to
end.
our child tax credit.
Boo! Get rid of the tax credit. No, I was saying boo. the
I've
child
also
tax
overseen
credit.
historic funding increases
I
for
guess
high-quality
the
child
SOTU
care,
will want it.
enabling 17 states to help more
Well,
children,
be
many
honest
of
though.
which
Before
have
that,
reduced or eliminated their wait lists
we
altogether.
weren't getting any use from it.
And I sent Congress a plan with a vision to further expand access to high-quality child care and urge you to act immediately. To protect the environment, days ago, I announced that the United States will join the 1 Trillion Trees Initiative, an ambitious effort
The
to
1
bring
Trillion
together
Trees
government and private
Initiative.
sector to plant new trees in America and all around the world.
That sounds like a lot of trees. Maybe too many trees.
We must also rebuild America's infrastructure.
Kennewick says Trump is generally a liberal Republican / moderate Democrat, except for that wall thing. I would disagree, Kennewick. It was only in the last 4 or 5 years did liberals start becoming against the wall.
All across our land.
We have Hillary Clinton, 8 years ago, talking about how she was for an improved border fence with Mexico.
Rural America.
Chuck Schumer, too.
A better tomorrow for all Americans also requires us to keep America safe.
The designated survivor is not
of law
a
enforcement
different
at every
party.
level, including our nation's heroic ICE officers.
They have their own designated survivor, I think.
Last year, our brave ICE officers arrested more than 120,000 criminal aliens charged with nearly 10,000 burglaries, 5,000 sexual assaults, 45,000 violent assaults, and 2,000 murders. Tragically, there are many cities in America where radical politicians have chosen to provide sanctuary for these criminal illegal aliens. In sanctuary cities, local officials order police to release dangerous criminal aliens to prey upon the public instead of handing them over to ICE to be safely removed. Just 29 days ago, a criminal alien freed by the sanctuary city of New York was charged with the brutal rape and murder of a 92-year-old woman. The killer had been previously arrested for assault, but under New York sanctuary policies, he was set free. If the city had honored ICE's detainer request, his victim would still be alive today. The state of California passed an outrageous law declaring their whole state to be a sanctuary for criminal illegal immigrants, a very terrible sanctuary with catastrophic
look at
results.
Pelosi. Look her in the eye.
Here's just one tragic example. In December 2018, California police detained an illegal alien with 5 prior arrests, including convictions for robbery and assault. But as required by California's sanctuary law, local authorities released him. Days later, the criminal alien went on a gruesome spree of deadly violence. He viciously shot one man going about his daily work. He approached a woman sitting in her car and shot her in the arm and in the chest. He walked into a convenience store and wildly fired his weapon. He hijacked a truck and smashed into vehicles, critically injuring innocent victims. One of the victims is
Anti-trigger says you can't look at Pelosi
situation.
in the eye. You would turn to stone.
51-year-old American named Rocky Jones. Rocky was at a gas station when this vile criminal fired 8 bullets at him from close range, murdering him in cold blood. Rocky left behind a devoted family, including his brothers, who loved him more than anything else in the world. One of his grieving brothers is here with us tonight. Jody, would you please stand? Jody, thank you.
Jody.
Jody, our hearts weep for your loss, and we will not rest until you have justice. Senator Tom Tillis has introduced legislation to allow Americans like Jody to sue sanctuary cities and states when a loved one is hurt or killed as a result of these deadly practices.
Interesting.
I ask Congress to pass the Justice for Victims of Sanctuary Cities Act immediately. The United
I'm
States
sure they're
of
going to get right
America
on
should be a
that.
sanctuary for law-abiding Americans, not criminal aliens. In the last 3 years, ICE has arrested over
Pelosi
5,000
playing
wicked human
Fortnite,
traffickers, and I have signed 9 pieces of
Mr. J.
legislation to stamp out the menace of human trafficking domestically and all around the globe. My administration has undertaken an unprecedented effort to secure the southern border of the United States. Before I came into office, if you showed up illegally on our southern border and were arrested, you were simply released and allowed into our country, never to be seen again. My administration has ended catch and release.
What's the other option?
If you come illegally, you will now be promptly removed from our country.
Oh, okay.
Very importantly, we entered into historic cooperation agreements with the governments of Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Guatemala. As a result of our unprecedented efforts, illegal crossings are down 75% since May, dropping 8 straight months in a row. And as the wall rapidly goes up, drug seizures rise, and the border crossings are going down and going down very rapidly. Last year, I traveled to the border in Texas and met Chief Patrol Agent Raul Ortiz. Over the last 24 months, Agent Ortiz and his team have seized more than 200,000 pounds of poisonous narcotics, arrested more than 3,000 human smugglers, and rescued more than 2,000 migrants. Days ago, Agent Ortiz was promoted to Deputy Chief of Border Patrol, and he joins us tonight. Chief Ortiz, please stand.
Yay, Chief Ortiz. T. Give Dooms' Bird's wife, AOC, is probably pissed. I don't think she's there.
A grateful
I think she was so pissed she decided not to go.
Heroes of Border Patrol and ICE. Thank you very much. Thank you. To build on these historic gains, we are working on legislation to replace our outdated and randomized immigration system with one based on merit, welcoming those who follow the rules, contribute to our economy, support themselves financially, and uphold our values.
Thomas Potts' BirdOPrey, if we would have kept Mexico after the war, we wouldn't have so many illegals.
My administration is restoring the rule of law and reasserting the culture of American freedom.
It would have been different, Thomas. I don't know.
Working with Senate Majority
Plus,
Leader
there are a lot
Mitch
of people
McConnell.
coming
Thank you,
from
Mitch.
south of Mexico, crossing Mexico, and still coming into the
And
U.S.
his colleagues in the Senate, we have confirmed a record number of 187 new federal judges to uphold our Constitution as written. This includes 2 brilliant new Supreme Court justices, Neil Gorsuch and Brett Kavanaugh. Thank you.
Are people really booing at Kavanaugh? He's been exonerated, people.
And we have many in the pipeline. My administration is also defending religious liberty, and that includes the constitutional right to pray in public schools. In America, we don't punish prayer. We don't tear down crosses. We don't ban symbols of faith. We don't muzzle preachers and pastors. In America, we celebrate faith. We cherish religion. We lift our voices in prayer, and we raise our sights to the glory of God. Just as we believe in the First Amendment, we also believe in another constitutional right that is under siege all across our country.
There we go.
So long as I am president, I will always protect your Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms.
A right to photon torpedoes, says Biden touch. If they were real, then yes, we would have rights to it.
In reaffirming our heritage as a free
Oh,
nation,
there's a heckler.
we must remember that America
ignored
has
him.
always been a frontier nation. Now we must
Somebody was
embrace
yelling
the next
something.
frontier.
Couldn't pick
America's
up exactly what he
manifest
was saying.
destiny in the stars. I am asking Congress to fully fund the Artemis program to ensure that the next man and the first woman on the moon will be American astronauts, using this as a launching pad to ensure that America is the first nation to plant its flag on Mars.
American. Oh man, the Artemis project. Fully fund America's manifest destiny to the stars, so that a man and a woman can go to the moon, and America could be the first one to plant their flag on the moon, on Mars. On Mars. The only problem is that there's really no point in going to the moon. It doesn't help us get to Mars, but whatever. We'll take what we can get.
Recognizing that all past attempts have failed, we must be determined and creative in order to stabilize the region and give millions of young people the chance to realize a better future.
Life with Matthew says Trump has faith.
Barbarians of ISIS
faith of the heart.
held over 20,000 square miles of territory
I've got
in Iraq
faith.
and Syria. Today,
Faith
the
of the
ISIS
heart.
territorial caliphate has been
Captain Trax says, oh
100%
yes, let us go to
destroyed.
Mars.
The
F
founder
healthcare,
and
go
leader
to
of
Mars.
ISIS, the bloodthirsty killer
As long
known
as we're all on the
al-Baghdadi,
same page, Captain
is
Trax.
dead.
Andrew's BirdOPrey, there is a point in going to the moon. It's called H3. It's of no real use right now, Anti-Tracker. We don't have H3 engines to get us to Mars that need a supply of H3 that we can't get on Earth.
We are joined this evening by Carl and Marcia Mueller. After
Ensign
graduating from
Ricky,
college, their
welcome.
beautiful
Says,
daughter,
don't make me
Qapla,
play that.
became a
Josh's BirdOPrey is
aid
cheaper
worker.
to send a rocket from the moon to
She
Mars.
once
Yes,
wrote, "Some
but we
people
have to
find
get the
God in
rocket
church,
from the Earth to
some
the
people
moon.
find God in nature,
We can't build
some
the
people
rocket on
find
the
God in
moon.
love.
We're
I find God in suffering.
decades
I've known for
decades
some
away
time
from being able to build a
what
rocket
my
on the moon.
life's work is.
So anything we
Using my
get from the
hands as
moon to
tools
Mars
to
has to
relieve
first get from the
suffering.
Earth to the moon.
In 2013,
So it's cheaper to
while
go from the
caring
Earth
for
to
suffering
Mars
civilians in
than the
Syria,
Earth to moon to
Qapla
Mars.
was
That's
kidnapped,
just
tortured, and
basic.
enslaved by ISIS and kept as a prisoner of al-Baghdadi himself. After more than 500 horrifying days of captivity, al-Baghdadi murdered young, beautiful Qapla. She was just 26 years old. On the night that U.S. Special Forces operations ended al-Baghdadi's miserable life, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Mark Milley, received a call in the Situation Room. He was told that the brave men of the elite Special Forces team that so perfectly carried out the operation had given their mission a name, Task Force 814. It was a reference to a special day, August 14th, Kayla's birthday. Carl and Marcia, America's warriors, never forgot Kayla, and neither will we. Thank you.
No, that's a picture of their daughter. Joe Lau, you guys have a good day. You too, Joe Lau. Thank you for stopping by.
Every day, America's men and women in uniform demonstrate the infinite depth of love that dwells in the human heart.
How long is
One
this
of these
speech?
American heroes was Army Staff
Is it
Sergeant
usually over after an hour?
Hake. On his second deployment to Iraq in 2008, Sergeant Hake wrote a letter to his one-year-old son, Gage. "I will be with you again," he wrote to Gage. "I will teach you to ride your first bike, build your first sandbox, watch you play sports, and see you have kids also. I love you, son. Take care of your mother. I am always with you, Daddy." On Easter Sunday of 2008, Chris was out on patrol in Baghdad when his Bradley fighting vehicle was hit by a roadside bomb. That night, he made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Sergeant Hake now rests in eternal glory in Arlington, and his wife, Kelly, is in the gallery tonight, joined by their son, who is now a 13-year-old and doing very, very
Sci-Fi
well.
Nation's
To Kelly and
BirdOPrey5.
Gage,
I was sitting
Chris will
here
live in our
thinking
hearts
Rush
forever.
looks good
He is
for
looking
having
down on you now.
stage
Thank
4. My dad was in a hospital bed drowning in his own fluids at stage 4. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't have, thankfully, much experience with lung cancer. But I don't know, according to Anti-Trigger earlier today, he said it really, for in his experience, it wasn't the worst way to go. That it was only a couple of days of suffering for his mom.
The terrorist responsible
So
for killing
I would
Sergeant
guess
Hake
that it's different for
was
different people,
Qasem
Sci-Fi
Soleimani,
Nation.
who provided the deadly roadside bomb that took Chris's life. Soleimani was the Iranian regime's
Like
most
all
ruthless
diseases
butcher,
are different
a
for
monster
different
who
people.
murdered or wounded thousands of American service members in Iraq. As the world's top terrorist, Soleimani orchestrated the deaths of countless men, women, and children.
Thomas Potts
He
is
directed the
BirdOPrey5,
December assault
my State of the
and went on to
Union.
assault
You
US
all in this
forces in
room
Iraq,
suck. Good
was
night,
actively
America.
planning new attacks when we hit him very hard. And that's why last month, at my direction, the U.S. military executed a flawless precision strike that killed Soleimani and terminated his evil reign of terror forever. Our message to the terrorists is clear. You will never escape American justice. If you attack our citizens, you forfeit your life.
Biden touch says I'm going to sneak under
In recent
Pelosi's
months, we have
desk.
seen proud Iranians raise their
good
voices
luck
against
with
their
that,
oppressive
Biden.
rulers. The Iranian regime must abandon its pursuit
Red
of
Alert
nuclear
says
weapons,
thoughts on the State of the
stop
Union so
spreading
far,
terror,
BirdOPrey5.
death and destruction, and start working for the good of its own
Boring.
people. Because
Boring,
of our
Red
powerful
Alert.
sanctions,
I
the
was
Iranian
hoping for
economy
some
is
more
doing
off-script
very
stuff.
poorly.
To
We
be
can help them
honest,
make
it's
a
a very
good
basic
and short time recovery. It can
Very
all go
basic
very
State of the
quickly, but
Union.
perhaps they are too
Exactly
proud
what
or
one
too
would
foolish
expect
to
from
ask
a
for
more
that help.
polished
We are
politician.
here. Let's see which road
They're
they choose.
touching on
It
everything
is
good they
totally up to
did.
them.
They're given, I guess, giving Rush Limbaugh a Presidential Medal of Freedom was kind of
As we defend
interesting,
American
but
lives, we're working to end America's wars in
it
the
kind
Middle
of
East,
feels like
in
every other
Afghanistan.
State of the Union I've
The
ever
determination
listened
and
to
valor
on
of our
TV,
warfighters
regardless
has
of
allowed us
party.
to make tremendous progress, and
I
peace
was
talks are now
hoping-
underway.
I was
I
hoping
am
for
not
something a little
looking
more
to
interesting
kill hundreds
tonight.
of thousands of people in Afghanistan, many of them totally innocent. It is also not our function to serve
Yeah,
other
BirdOPrey
nations as
says he's got to
law
be careful what he
enforcement
says
agencies.
until he
These are
really
warfighters
gets
that we
acquitted
have,
by
the
the
best
Senate
in the world.
tomorrow.
And they either want to fight to win or not fight at all.
Sci-Fi
We
Nations
are
is
working to
BirdOPrey.
finally end
My State of the
America's
Union
longest war
address, a recording
and
of
bring
George
our troops
Carlin.
back home.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. And the Dragons is BirdOPrey. If you
War
are too
places a
bored,
heavy burden on our
we
nation's
could break the
extraordinary
news of
military
Martok
families,
early.
especially spouses
I don't
like
want to
Amy
do it
Williams
early,
from
but
Fort Bragg,
if
North
you've got a
Carolina,
link or
and her
something you
two
want to
children,
send me on
6-year-old
Skype,
Eliana
I can
and
get it
3-year-old
ready.
Rowan. Amy works full-time and volunteers countless hours helping other military families. For the past 7 months, she has done it all while her husband, Sergeant First Class Townsend Williams, is in Afghanistan on his 4th deployment in the Middle East. Amy's kids haven't seen their father's face in many months. Amy, your family's sacrifice makes it possible for all of our families to live in safety and in peace, and we want to thank you. Thank you, Amy.
You're kind of ruining the surprise. So, his wife hasn't seen her husband. He's in the military. But
Amy.
oh,
there's
but
one more
Amy,
thing. Tonight we have a very
one
special
more
surprise.
thing. We have
I
a
am
special
thrilled to
surprise.
inform
It's
you
like
that your
it's like
husband is back from deployment. He is here with us tonight, and we couldn't keep him waiting any longer.
it's like a talk show. We got a surprise backstage for you. And you get a car, and you get a car, says Anti-Tracker. And you get a Medal of Freedom, and you get a Medal of Freedom. T-Berg says, BirdOPrey5, you can afford to pay William Shatner to utter death to dirt is dead. Well, he's probably going to want like $5,000 to his charity to do that. Sean DeBarco says, wow, what a shocking turn of events. She doesn't seem to be all that close to her husband. She seems to be keeping a distance. An unusual distance considering what just happened. Yeah, people are cheering USA, USA, USA.
Welcome home, Sergeant Williams. Thank you very much. As the world bears witness tonight, America is a land of heroes. This is a place where greatness is born, where destinies are forged, and where legends come to life. This is the home of Thomas Edison and Teddy Roosevelt, of many great generals, including Washington, Pershing, Patton, and MacArthur.
Anti-Trigger, that video is 25 seconds
Frederick
long.
Douglass, Amelia
That's
Earhart, Harriet Tubman,
That's
the
not.
Wright
That's
brothers,
kind of outside
Neil
the
Armstrong, and so many more.
safe zone of
This
using
is the
clips
country where
together.
children learn names like Wyatt Earp, Davy Crockett, and Annie Oakley. This is the place where the Pilgrims landed
You
at
tested
Plymouth,
it?
and where Texas patriots made their last stand at the Alamo.
Okay. I mean, I was half debating on just
beautiful,
deleting this
beautiful
video
Alamo.
afterwards
The American
anyway.
nation was carved
So
out
it's
of the
not the
vast
end of the
frontier by
world.
the toughest, strongest, fiercest, and most determined men and women ever to walk on the face of the earth. Our ancestors braved the unknown, tamed the wilderness, settled the Wild West, lifted millions from poverty, disease, and hunger.
He's talking about settling the
vanquished
Wild
tyranny and
West.
fascism,
Vanquished
ushered the world
tyranny
to
and
new heights of science and
fascism.
medicine, laid down the railroads,
Laid
dug
down
out
the
the canals,
railroads.
raised up the skyscrapers,
In the
and
canals.
ladies and gentlemen, our ancestors built the most exceptional republic ever to exist in all of human history, and we are making it greater than ever before.
There we go. The greatest republic ever to exist in human history. We shall take the West, says Thomas. Kennewick says USA, and Alexander Brooks says, I should have been a cowboy. Kennewick says, Lowell Pilgrims plus Alamo equal Hollywood Trigger.
This is our glorious and magnificent inheritance. We are Americans. We are pioneers. We are the pathfinders. We settled the new world. We built the modern world.
What papers
and we
could
changed
Nancy
history
Pelosi
forever
really
by
be looking
embracing
at?
the eternal truth.
Like, what
that
the hell is
everyone
she looking
made
at? What is she
equal
doing?
By the hand of Almighty God. America is the place where anything can happen.
Huh?
America is the place where anyone can rise. And here, on this land, on this soil, on this continent, the most incredible dreams come true. This
Alexander
nation
says she has
is
a
our
copy of
canvas,
Trump's
and this
speech.
country
So
is
what,
our
she's looking to see how much time is left?
We look at tomorrow and see unlimited frontiers just waiting to be explored. Our brightest discoveries are not yet known. Our most thrilling stories are not yet told. Our grandest
I don't think
journeys
Nancy's giving
are
I
not
don't
yet
think
made.
Nancy's
American
giving the
age,
speech. Pelosi.
the
I don't think
American
she's
epic,
giving the speech
The American
afterwards.
adventure
There was some
has only
governor,
just begun.
some Democratic governor
Our
giving
spirit
a
is still young.
rebuttal speech
The
that I
sun
will
is
not
still
be
rising.
listening
God's
to.
grace is still shining.
At least
And my
not
fellow
live on
Americans,
camera.
The best is yet to come. Thank you. God bless you. And God bless America.
There we
Thank you.
go. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America. And there we go. Okay. So that was the 2020 State of the Union. As President Trump said, the State of the Union is best it's ever been. That's a big guy. Although they cut the feed, so we can't see it. What's going on the TV? I know. I'm just saying. What's going on the website, they've since cut the feed, so I can't. What you see on TV, we don't see anymore. There was a big guy. And the trigger says, go back. Look at what Nancy Pelosi does as soon as Trump finishes. Can I go back? Okay, yeah, we can.
History, and we are making
We can.
it greater
We're going
than
back.
ever before.
Okay, anti-tracker. As soon as Trump finishes, what does Nancy Pelosi do?
the American age, the American epic, the American adventure has only just begun. Our spirit is still young. The sun is still rising. God's grace is still shining. And my fellow Americans, the best is yet to come.
The best is yet to come.
And God bless America. Thank you very much.
Holy shit, she rips up the speech. Nancy Pelosi ripped the speech in half. As soon as he was done, she rips it in half and puts it off to the side. What is she doing?
And God bless.
I mean, is that something they normally do? I can't ever say. I mean, it's not. Why even rip it in half? You're not stopping anyone from reading it.
America, thank you very much.
You shouldn't even rip it long ways.
God bless.
At least long
America.
ways.
Thank you very much.
If you took half of it, you would steal half the words.
America,
She rips
thank
it down the middle, then puts both sides right next to each other.
America, thank you very much. God bless. America.
Good eye, anti-tracker. Good eye. I was not looking.
America,
I was
thank you very
seeing what was coming up next. My God. I'll just rip this in half and put it down to the side. What's the logic? She annoyed? She pissed that he didn't bring up impeachment? That's what they were talking about. Was he going to bring up impeachment? He didn't bring up impeachment at all. He was incredibly kind to a body in which a large number of people voted literally to impeach him.
God bless.
Just
America. Thank you very much.
just a week or two ago, saying to this day that he's not qualified and not safe to be president.
America. Thank you very much. And God bless America. Thank
Wow.
you very much.
I am shocked. Alexander Brooks says, "What a see you next Tuesday." I'm gonna hold off incredible judgment because I don't know if it's standard practice to rip up. Maybe it's, you know, there are things. Oh, it's a sign of good luck or something. Sometimes, you know, like you smear your name on your birthday cake before you eat it. Maybe that's a sign of good luck that you rip up the speech after it's given. I don't know. I'm just saying, before I go out crazy and persecute Pelosi for doing something like this, as stupid as it looks, I'd have to double check that there wasn't a motive behind it that wasn't vindictive. Okay, it's too easy to assume it's vindictive. And so, as much as it might be, but I will refrain from calling it vindictive until I learn more about it. He showed restraint and didn't give them extra ammo. Exactly, Tiki. He was extremely restrained. Yeah, it looked disrespectful, but again, I can't say I've watched a State of the Union this closely in a long time. And hell, I missed this until Anti-Tracker even pointed it out, because I was like, okay, it's over, time to turn my eyes to something else. And I didn't even see it happen. Anti-Tracker caught it. I would never have known this happened. But okay, so Anti-Tracker believes it's total disrespect. I'll grant you, it looks bad, okay? I don't want to be the one here to defend Pelosi, but it looks bad. I need to confirm it before I take the word. That, you know, that it was actually a vindictive act. But with that said, Anti-Tracker apparently has created something for us, so with that, Anti-Tracker, I will play. He did snub her? Oh, Mama Pray, he snubbed Pelosi's handshake. She did put her hand out and he said no? Oh. At the beginning, she put her hand out and he turned around without shaking. I saw him hand it to her, and like, yeah, he kind of didn't want to look at her more than he had to. But I didn't. Well, the white papers came out of that folder. I'm pretty sure. Okay, whatever. I just. Okay. Anyway. Here is what Anti-Tricker, and Thomas says, no, it's not a tradition. Anti-Tricker saying it's a bunch of babies. Well, then it definitely looks bad. Okay. So, Mama Pray is saying that she had those papers on the desk first. They still might be a speech, but he handed her a folder separately. Okay. So this is what Anti-Trigger is saying is the general Martok situation. Anti-Trigger is saying Mr. Miles found this footage showing the Martok situation. Yeah, he found it. I gotta say, this seems suspicious already. But let's just see what happens. What did Anti-Trigger do? Hold on. Let's go. Oh, I can't go to theater mode. Oh, I can do this. Now we can go to, well, you know, I don't want it bigger than it needs to be. So, let's keep it on this screen.
Martok's the changeling!
Martok's the changeling.
All hail the road.
Oh.
Looks like we found our changeling after all.
Har, har, har. So Odo says Martok's the changeling. And then Martok says, all hail Kuroga. And then all the Klingons shoot their disruptors at it. And it blows up. And Cisco, as a Klingon, says, looks like we found our changeling after all. Har, 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 Anti-Trekker. You see, the Turtistani Minister of Misinformation and Propaganda is turning out these fakes, even when he is supposed to be working. And yet, that time is found to create these deep fake videos. I'm shocked and appalled. Shocked and appalled. Yes, Captain Trick, it's a fake. It's a fake! Anti-Trigger saying 100% real. Sure it is. Sure it is. Thomas says, give Mr. Miles a wrench now. Mr. Miles has a wrench on this channel. He does. Anyway, guys, it's late for me. But thank you guys for hanging out with me and watching the State of the Union. I can't say it's something we're going to do often. Obviously, it only happens once a year, but maybe a presidential debate or something when we get to that season. I don't mind. I kind of like doing some stuff. I don't get too into the politics myself, but it's interesting watching with everybody, getting opinions, and hopefully I didn't lose too many subscribers. But we'll see. We had a good few weeks, so if we lost a few, we'll be okay. Captain Trex is on 5X, please. What does that mean on 5X? 5 times? Captain, if you you want to explain that, because I don't understand the question, the request. Oh, on the BirdOPrey5X channel. Yeah, I'll try. Maybe we'll do that. There's just not a hell of a lot of people subscribed to it. It's only got 48 subscribers. But people, if you are interested, do please subscribe to the BirdOPrey5X channel. If you go to YouTube, BirdOPrey5.com, you go to BirdOPrey5.com. That's the letter O, not the number 0. There will be a link to the BirdOPrey5X channel, which is my secondary channel where I do my less popular and less interesting things. And maybe we can do this type of stuff over there. Although, to be completely honest, Captain Trek, since I'm going to take this down as unlisted as soon as it's over anyway, it really doesn't affect the channel that much. Because it really, as far as YouTube concerns, it only existed for the couple of hours it was on. Sci-Fi Nation says, BirdOPrey, not so great stream as always. Still live long, bud. Still love ya though. Bud, live long and I'll pack everyone. Thank you, Sci-Fi Nation. Hey, wait. Andrew says, wait. There are less interesting things than this channel. And Captain Cat is put on another link, and Alexander Brooks has subbed to the BirdOPrey5X channel. Thank you. So let's see, what's this link? Oh, wait, Anti-Trekker and Captain Cat. Son of a bitch. So we've got 2 links. Oh, okay. That's the link to the BirdOPrey5X channel. Thank you, Captain Cat. And Anti-Trekker put in a link, which is the link to the Martok changeling thing that I played earlier. Yeah, there you go. Now you have 50. Thank you, Alexander. And thank you, Joe Lau. Okay, guys. Good night, all. Qapla. And, I guess we'll see you at some point tomorrow. Take care. El Karoga. Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out BirdOPrey5.com, the new home of everything BirdOPrey5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/BirdOPrey5 or on BirdOPrey5.com. Take care.